Look, if you think you've seen it all in the true crime world, you haven't seen nothing until you've stepped foot into Culiacán. We're talking about the home turf of the Sinaloa Cartel, the most feared organization on the planet. This ain't just about some street deals. This is a whole different universe where life is cheap, the money is long, and the violence is so graphic it'll make your stomach do backflips. We're going deep into the belly of the beast to see how El Chapo's legacy is still tearing Mexico apart, from the hidden fentanyl labs in the mountains to the gold-plated tombs where the young hitters end up before they even hit 25. Stick around, because what I'm about to show you is the raw, unfiltered truth that the news won't touch. Yo, before we get into the heavy hitters and the heartbreak, do me a huge favor. If you're down for these real-life stories that nobody else is telling, hit that subscribe button and join the family. To my regulars, y'all already know I appreciate the love and support more than I can say. For the new folks, welcome to True Gruesome Crime Stories. Now, let's get back into the madness of Sinaloa. Listen, in Culiacán, the cartel is the law, the government, and the employer. They've got over 200,000 people on the payroll. Imagine that. You've got pharmacists, farmers, and even the local police, all answerable to the narcos. I saw this one dude, El Güero, who used to work right under El Chapo himself. He talks about the good old days, like he's reminiscing about a favorite uncle. He says Chapo was like a president to them. If someone got sick, he'd send a private plane to get him to a hospital. But don't let that Robin Hood image fool you for a second. That same kind man is the reason why 25,000 people are catching a body every single year in this region. The game has changed, though. Back in the day, it was all about that natural opium and weed from the mountains. But now, it's all about the synthetic stuff, fentanyl. They call it the blue candy because the Americans can't get enough of it. El Güero's crew is out there in the heat, cooking up 100,000 pills a week in these makeshift labs hidden in the brush. They're making $40,000 a month. Think about that. A doctor in Mexico doesn't even see a fraction of that. But the cost? It's paid in blood. They know this stuff is killing people by the thousands, but El Güero just shrugs it off. He says, nobody forces them to buy it, we just want the money. That's the cold-blooded reality of the hustle. But here's where it gets really sticky. To stay on top, you gotta be willing to do the unthinkable. The bosses told the reporters straight up, you get 2 warnings. The third time you mess up, you're going under the dirt. And if they tell you to go kill someone, you don't ask why, you just go. If you hesitate, you're the one getting the treatment. They've got weapons that even the Mexican government can't match. Machine guns that can spit out 90 rounds in under a minute. Now, I want to pause for a second because I want to hear from y'all. Drop a comment right now and tell me what time it is where you're watching this and how you stumbled onto this channel. Did the algorithm finally do something right, or did a homie send you the link? Let me know down below. The craziest part of this whole narco culture is the Culiacanazo. This was when the police actually managed to grab El Chapo's son, Ovidio. You'd think that's a win for the good guys, right? Wrong. Within minutes, 800 cartel hitters swarmed the city in armored trucks with 50 cal machine guns mounted on the back. They turned the city into a literal war zone until the government had to let Ovidio go just to stop the massacre. And the officer who made the arrest? A few days later, 4 sicarios caught him in a parking lot and pumped 150 bullets into him in 6 seconds. That's the kind of power we're dealing with. They don't just kill you, they make an example out of you. And when these guys finally retire, usually in a pine box, they don't go to a regular cemetery. They go to the Jardines del Umaya. This place is wild. We're talking about tombstones that look like luxury villas. They've got air conditioning, Wi-Fi, gold leaf moldings, and fully equipped kitchens. Some of these graves cost $500,000. It's like they're trying to buy their way into a comfortable afterlife because they know the one they lived was hell on earth. But if you look closely at the names on these villas, most of them are kids, boys aged 20 to 25. But for every flashy narco with a gold-plated gun, there's a mother left behind with nothing but a hole in her heart. While the cartel bosses are living it up, there's a group of women called the Searchers. These are mothers whose sons just disappeared. No explanation, no body, just gone. They spend their days out in the desert with shovels and iron rods, poking the ground and smelling the tips for the scent of rotting flesh. Can you imagine that being your life? Switching from a housewife to a forensic investigator because the government is too scared to help you? One mother, Mirta, has been looking for her son since 2017. She knows he was taken by an armed commando, and she's just looking for a little bone, one piece of him so she can finally give him a proper goodbye. They find mass graves all the time, bodies covered in lime to hide the smell. It's a never-ending cycle of grief.
Now, you might be wondering why anyone would willingly sign up for this life, when the end result is almost always a shallow grave or a gold-plated tomb before you're old enough to rent a car. But when you look at the poverty in Sinaloa, the math starts to make sense for a lot of these kids. I'm talking about girls like Camille, who spend their nights in high-end clubs hoping to catch the eye of a narco tuner. To them, it's the only way out of the slums. They call them Buchonas, women who go all out with the plastic surgery, the designer clothes, and the expensive whiskey, all to attract a guy who might provide them a house or a car before he inevitably gets gunned down or locked up. One girl straight up said she'd be okay with a guy who tortures people for a living, as long as he treats her right. That's how deep the brainwashing goes. They're chasing a dream that's built on top of a nightmare.